I am a professional mind reader. It's hard to say that because people think I am a psychic or a fortune teller or the Long Island medium. I am none of those things. I am not real. I am honest. So I am not out to scam people. I'm out to entertain. So I have to kind of frame it as a theatrical mind reader sometimes, since I do have a theatrical degree after all. I'm based in Chicago. I perform here and also around the world. It's so hard to talk specifically about what I do because I create mysteries. And so I hate spoiling it. My show is designed to, if it goes well, kind of hit an audience out of nowhere. Because it starts very simple, very lighthearted and fun. And then it very quickly moves to moments of amazement that feel like I'm really psychic, although I am not. And I tell the audience repeatedly while doing these things. These things might include guessing birthdays, telling people special memories that they're only thinking of, connecting multiple people across the room. A new favorite moment in the show is when I hand over the reins to someone from the audience who's been chosen at random, and they read the mind of 3 other people in the room. So I'm not even part of the equation at this point, and I just let someone do it. They have no clue how they did it, and they get to go back completely confused and amazed, just like everyone else. So I grew up in a small town. My parents had their hands full, and I think my dad, just to probably get me to sit down, just to get me to, give him some time and my mom some time, very kindly bought a book. It was a hardbound book on magic with some props next to it. I still have it. It's absolutely shredded because I read it so much, but deck of cards, piece of rope, little handkerchief, all these things. But essentially the book had different chapters on magic, card magic, tricks with coins, tricks with rope, whatever. And you just work your way through. Couldn't read at the time, but the great thing about this book, it would have on each page a picture of how you held your hands or what you did with a prop or, what part of the trick you were in, and a little block of text, like a couple sentences. And then it would repeat that going down the page and then the next one. And I was able to puzzle out what the words meant and learn to read from this magic book. So, later elementary school and middle and high school, I would do library shows. So I'm like a 10-year-old kid doing shows for 6-year-olds and 5-year-olds at the library, which is kind of fun. I was doing very simple card tricks, but I would do them at show and tell, at family Thanksgiving, at, little gatherings with friends maybe, and talent shows and things. And it just kind of took off from there. And then I was a 10-year-old doing shows at nursing homes for adults who have just been there playing bingo forever, sadly. And then they come out and I do this fun show and they're like freaking out and they love it. And I'm just dragging in 3 suitcases I found at a local flea market full of props. And I would just pull one prop out, do the trick, put it back, pull one prop out, do the trick. But that was my initial foray into not just doing a community theater or school play, but doing my own show. And I just stuck with it. I really love mystery so much. I mean, I genuinely believe my favorite thing is mystery. The gift of what I can do is that I am sharing a mystery. Oh, I read your mind, blah, 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 but also is a reminder of how great mystery is. And hopefully someone can take that off stage or out of the theater and insert it into their life in other ways. I am friends with a lot of performers who do what I do and have noticed a trend that many of them aren't into mystery. They want to know all the answers and have all the secrets, and they might create mysteries for other people, but they're not really into it. And it strikes me as strange, a weird kind of dissonance between what you do, but not practicing what you preach. My favorite people, there's 6 books on the shelf about him. It's Orson Welles. And he's got a great bit on YouTube from years ago. He was talking about how, I think he was in Kansas City. He was doing a show, a play, he would do theater. And then during the day, he just decided, I'm going to set up a fortune teller booth or a room so people can come see me. And all day long, people would come and he would just do cold reading for these people. And they'd give him back then, a dime. And he was a millionaire by the end of the day. I don't know what it was, but they'd give him a little money and he would do a reading. And he said by the end of the day, he had done so many of these. And obviously, if you know anything about Orson Welles, gift of gab, amazing speaker, plus the gravitas to really be convincing, and probably had an outfit, He said by the end of the day, he just looked at someone and he was able to say some stuff. And somewhere in his head, without even realizing, he was just connecting the dots of, there was a rip in the pants, this meant that, or fingernails were chipped or whatever. He's just noticing things without realizing he was noticing. And I forget the term. I think it's you become a shut-eye. I think that's what it is. Become a shut-eye to your own abilities. So what started the day as cold reading, by the end of the day, he became a shut-eye. He wasn't even aware of this stuff he was doing. And he says in the clip, I had to close the shop because I reached a dangerous point where I started to believe in my own abilities, and that was a danger. People who claim psychic abilities and are out there selling it that they're gifted in some way, that they, I don't know, were struck by lightning 3 times and they can read the minds of goats now or something. I don't know what people say. Yeah, I mean, it really makes me sick. And so that's why in my show, I'm honest about it. I'm truthful. Hey, I'm not real. I'm not psychic. Hey, I went to theater school. Hey, you know what? I care more about mystery than really amazing you. I have to amaze you. Otherwise, there's no mystery, but I'm not here to pull one over on you. I'm not here because you're a schmuck. I will amaze you. And then you get to leave with a good feeling. I have pitched some TV shows out in Hollywood with one of my agents set me up with many meetings, which is all Hollywood is, by the way, is just meetings. You just go and you have a meeting and nothing comes of it. And they're like, hey, good meeting. The only people who were interested wanted me to say I was psychic. They're like, just say you're psychic. And I'm like, no, but the quickest route is for them to get someone who says they're a medium, a clairvoyant, who has these abilities. And I don't know if that says something about the actual people watching or perhaps says more about the people who are producing the show and what they think about the people who are watching. The fact I can do what is essentially a very analog art form because it's grounded in things from, centuries ago for a modern audience, but remind them of analog thinking, slowing down, perhaps a little stoicism, a little mystery. I think that's a gift. I do my best. To share that.
Next week in Douglas, a member of gospel royalty has his Disney moment.
Although that was the age of LSD, I wasn't on anything.
From Superphonic Studios, this is Chicago. Listen every Sunday.